You've probably heard of characters like Omni-Man, Bill Cipher, Gojo, or Saitama as well. Very overpowered characters who ultimately steal the show whenever they appear on screen, be it by defeating seemingly implacable threats, destroying paragons and heroes effortlessly, or just messing around with reality itself. Sometimes these memorable moments can even happen at your table and leave even your DM stunned for words. And so that is why today we will be looking into your most overpowered moments in D&D from the lovely people who entered my giveaway on my Gojo build. The winner will be announced before their story, so get cozy, get yourself a warm drink, and let's delve into these stories. In Baldur's Gate 3, we'll try not to have any spoilers. I was playing with a friend. Bro was in charge of one of our healers, while I was a monk with Barbarian under my charge, each playing 2 characters. We'd been dungeon delving for like 3-4 hours worth of playing. I'd fallen for almost every trap, and brunted all the melee attacks, with 0 heals coming my way. My friend was greedy, and only healed his own characters. I was low on resources, and we accidentally walked into a boss fight. For those who know, the Grimforge. The boss was really strong. We were level 3, and this guy was walking with resistances, immunities to almost every damage type, and over 200 hit points. Except for 2 turns, he was weak to bludgeoning damage. I was scared as hell, because I knew my friend wouldn't share any of his heals. He didn't, and me, having 2 melees, had to get in close. I'd been jumped consistently for hours beforehand, so I did not want the fight. But running was also not an option. By a stroke of luck, my monk hit multiple 20s on his attack and damage rolls, and got the boss down to 80 in 1 turn, making it so we were able to annihilate it the next turn. I clipped the whole thing, but don't share the clip too often, because you can hear the cries of panic and cowardice in my voice. What a memorable moment, especially when you have both environment, player, and enemies fighting against you. Those few times where you can roll those important natural 20s and bring down an immensely powerful foe with a character that you care about are moments that can sometimes bring a character to a near divine status. I hope that you and your friend have managed to reconcile, and that they have learned that healer characters should very much benefit the party if they want to benefit themselves. And now we have the winner of the giveaway. Once upon a time, a certain one-shot went out of control, turning into a 3-shot. This takes place during the second one, in which we were raiding the lair of one of the other players, who was trying to summon Cthulhu, due to a pact he made with the Mind Goblin. My character died to a T-Rex in the first session, so the DM allowed me to make a new one. Very convenient, since every player was allowed to roll a raw d20 to possibly get a magic item before the second session. I rolled really well and got a sword, which, at the end of my turn, would cause a creature struck by the sword to make a con save, and on a fail, they would take 4d6 necrotic, maybe force, damage for every strike of the sword that hit them during this turn. This was actually my 3rd ever session, but from the media I have interacted with, I have heard that the fighter is the I smack with the sword many times class, which seemed perfect for abusing the magic item. I decided to risk it and chose to roll for stats. Got a few bad ones, but the one that mattered the most was the 18, which I put into strength and rounded out to a 20 with an ASI to make my multiple attacks deal even more damage. The guy who we were raiding was really overleveled, so we needed to take care of him fast. He also accidentally made his character level 28, but we fixed that during the session lull, due to this exceptional physical prowess, and the fact that the rest of the party was full casters. With one half-caster, my JJK addicted brain instantly named my character Toji Fushiguro, even though he didn't quite act like him. And so, when the day came, one of our casters used their scroll of Dimension Door, which they got from the magic item d20 roll, and teleported me just in front of the evil guy. Not too long after, I was making roll after roll, using up all of my resources to deal as much damage as possible before he could get a turn. Later, we named this tactic the J11 Terabyte Zip Bomb, considering my username. While I could stop there, I'll go further. It felt awesome messing up the evil guy so bad from the get-go, but not too long after, he cast a spell on me. My memory could be failing me, but I'm pretty sure it was Dominate Person. As fun as it was fighting the bad guy, it was even more fun turning on my own party while being mind-controlled. Got some real emotional moments before the spell finally ended. Not sure if he dropped concentration or if I made the save. The evil guy was cowering backwards, begging for his life, but Toji would not listen. and he finished him off right then and there. This, however, did not stop the ritual like expected, and Cthulhu rose from the markings in the middle of the giant cavern before everyone passed out. We all awoke in a swampy area, with Cthulhu standing before us, telling us that he will give us 8 hours before he comes back, and that we should prepare. We jokingly said Cthulhu opened his domain expansion, considering the way it all happened. The DM gave us a few levels and a long rest, and we were going to face off against Cthulhu, with the evil guy being revived and having a small redemption arc, but that is for the 3rd session of the one-shot. And that was a brilliant history. I hope you will enjoy the discount for all Jujutsu Kaisen characters. Thank you very much for your story. And I just want to say that, honestly, this is a moment to remember. To instantly zip in front of a powerful, over-leveled, evil spellcaster and instantly give them the Fushiguro Flurry to make them absolutely regret not investing a little bit more into hit points, only to then turn on the party, is one hell of a moment that will most likely give your DM inspiration for a Fushiguro villain. Those things aside though, I would be very curious to know who the Mind Goblin is. Sounds like one hell of a character in my opinion. And now we have a bunch of shorter stories that were also left in the comments and also participated in the giveaway. These are on the quick end, but they are very interesting themselves. Also, I'm not participating in the giveaway for obvious reasons. But my favorite D&D moment was when we played and I used an ice spell to freeze over orcs, and then boiled the ice. I still very much remember that time when Miss Steady, right here, rose a bunch of orcs with binding ice, and then proceeded to use another spell to boil the ice and deal insane damage to the entrapped orcs. And that was one hell of a creative moment that made me be rather frightened of this new player that I was DMing for, who suddenly turned up all creative on me. Massive kudos to Miss Steady right here. This is my story. I was playing a Totem Barbarian and Fighter multiclass for a one-shot, where we had to go through a labyrinth. Additionally, I had been given a homebrew magic item that could turn into a Vorpal sword for a short period of time. And thanks to that, and Reckless Attack, I decapitated 2 Minotaurs in 1 turn. This will be one of the first stories that will involve Vorpal weapons. These weapons are absolutely fantastic, but particularly when you can kind of just look at an enemy that is way too powerful for you and simply say, you know what, you'd look an awful lot better without your head on your shoulders. And so well done to you for rolling those 2 natural 20s, a tiny chance, and yet your character will forever have that story in their repertoire. Me and my party were exterminating some lycanthropes in the Underdark. We were in like the 3rd fight of that road trip. Everyone was looking really rough. When it got to my turn, I got 2 natural 20s, and 1 was changed to a 20 from Portent from the Wizard. I decapitated 3 of the 5 we were fighting, due to my Vorpal sword, best 65,000 gold I have ever spent. Considering the rarity of the Vorpal sword, that is one hell of a good deal your character got, and to be able to instantly take off 3 initiatives off the counter is sure to send a message to the 2 remaining ones that, you know, they should probably start running away. After all, you can regenerate from all you want, but a lopped off head is not one such thing. Not exactly a moment, but I am in a Gestalt, 2 classes at once, but not like multiclassing, campaign with some friends, and I made a build very similar to Toji Fushiguro. He was a rogue paladin, but didn't cast any spells. My DM has a lot of homebrew, so thanks to some great stuff I found in the world, I got a dexterity of 36, and the Soul Split Katana, and the Inverted Spear of Heaven. Not their actual names, but work the same as in JJK. We are playing with some of the new 2024 rules, and the party set up a bastion, but that's another story. Well, it seems here like we have someone who has some very interesting moments lined up. Having a dexterity of 36 pretty much involves a character that adds, if I remember correctly, a plus 13 as a base to their attacks. Not to mention the Soul Split Katana and Inverted Spear of Heaven, if they work like in JJK, we can certainly say that spellcasters are in trouble. I can't wait to hear about the Bastion story as well. There was one time I was playing a crit fishing build as a half-orc fighter wielding a greatsword. We were fighting some monster with multi-attack, and the first attack knocked me down. Its subsequent attacks would have killed me outright, if it wasn't for the reaction attack of Orcish Fury that triggers when you fall unconscious. I roll to attack and crit, barely dealing enough damage to kill the monster before it can finish me off. And this right here is the quintessential last stand moment. Your character gets impaled, grits their teeth, pushes through the pain, and delivers the final blow to a deadly enemy. What an incredible moment we had here, and I hope that your character has survived onwards to gain many, many more scars as a half-orc would enjoy. I know not many people like 4th edition, but in a campaign my mom ran, I was playing a halfling, and I hit a spider, and I got a natural 20. It flicked off and hit another spider. And this is just a simple moment of a simply satisfying natural 20 that gets you effective results. Sometimes in 5e you can roll a natural 20 and actually end up rolling middling damage. But to add these extra little effects, like hitting a second enemy, can make for moments where even your most basic ranged halfling can seem like a deadly sharpshooter. Small bit of homebrew for my character. I saw the rest of the characters about to get smited and essentially caused all the magic in the area to target the enemy. Turns out the enemy was about to use Time Ravage, and I pretty much just made him turn himself to dust. Then the lightning they were throwing hit the dust and turned it to glass. In other words, I turned the near full health boss into a puddle of molten glass in one bonus action. And this right here is the stuff of legends. Absolutely terrifying how a simple ability like causing magic in an area to target an enemy can end up taking a very scary spell like Time Ravage and have the boss suddenly realize that their lifespan goes from years to seconds in a flash. It's always very, very satisfying when a spellcaster gets outwitted in combat. And this right here is probably the most quintessential moment of that. So, homebrew moment. But during our current campaign, my PC was about to essentially beam clash with an undead dragon's breath weapon with his own fire breath due to being a dragon slayer. Definitely a cool moment. I appreciate my DM for lol. I have never quite heard of such a concept, but being able to use a breath weapon to counter another breath weapon is definitely a rule I am adding to my campaigns. You can certainly thank your DM for that, because the visuals of being able to clash fire breaths with a fellow dragon is something that will definitely be written about in the history books of your campaign setting. My best moments in D&D was during a homebrew for Kaiju number 8, and one of my players cut off his arm when it got infected by a Kaiju, threw off the arm far away because the Kaiju could always know your location if you are infected, and while the Kaiju was confused, got a natural 20 on their roll to hit. I gave him, a non-rogue, a sneak attack bonus one time because he was so creative, and he cut off the Kaiju's head vertically because the damage rolls were insane. And here we have another powerful natural 20 moment, but this time a Kaiju. That seems like a very interesting D&D homebrew campaign, particularly when ECs can be losing limbs left and right. To have a character go from a possibly game-ending injury straight back into a boss-ending natural 20 with a little bit of sneak attack on top is definitely a moment that will keep that player returning to your table. And also, kudos to you for being an incredibly balanced and kind DM who gave your player a massive bonus against the boss after they lose an arm. Usually, in most campaigns, losing an arm can mean your character is essentially permanently debuffed. And so being able to take the life of the boss after they take your arm off can make for some very, very rich lore later down the line. And there we have some powerful moments from the mighty characters of my wonderful community. Thank you all once more for these superb little stories about your most OP moments in your tabletop RPGs, and congratulations once again to J11 the Jet Plane. I will let you send a little message on the Discord so that I can give you your discount code for the JJK characters. And if you all want me to read more of these little stories, tell me down below in the comments. What was your most emotional moments that you've had in Dungeons & Dragons? Feel free to drop stories from other systems as well, like Call of Cthulhu, Pathfinder, or maybe even Savage Worlds. I can't wait to read your resplendent stories very, very soon. But in the meantime, be well, be adventurous, and see you all very soon for another lore-accurate build, or maybe some more story time. Bye-bye!